Okay, now I'm going to show you a little bit of the footwork. Now don't emphasize so much, just watch and listen and so forth, okay? I do want to tell you a little bit as you're hitting the ball. I like to use the multi-sensors when you're practicing. Okay, and I'll tell you a little bit about that, but let me show you the footwork, okay, from the ready position, and I'll drop some balls on that, okay? The different types of footwork. There's different variety of balls you're going to get, okay? I'm going to use this right in front of me, the center line, okay? So you get a ball in front of you, what you're going to do is, all right, you got to get out of the way of the ball. So the first thing you do is you shoulder turn, like this. Now instead of pivoting, you shoulder turn, getting away from the ball, and then you step in and move forward. See that? So if the ball's coming right at you, you shoulder turn and stick your back behind, and you hit the ball, making sure you finish, all right? That's one ball that comes right at you. Now let's say the ball is just a little away from you. Well, we already practiced that, right? You shoulder turn, pivot, and you make contact, right? Now, let's say the ball is a little further away from you. You're going to do one other thing. You don't want to be stretched out like this. That's not good footwork. What you want to do is you'll want to sidestep, shoulder turn. So what I do is I shoulder turn first. But in this case, when it's further, you sidestep, shoulder turn, make contact and follow through. Now, if it's further away, you might take two side steps, of course. So you do sidestep, shoulder turn, make contact, and follow through. Now, as you're practicing this, being a beginning tennis player, all right, you want to do this. Practice this. I want you to vocally say, when the ball bounces, you say bounce. Even softly so you can hear it. Okay? Not before, not after. When the ball bounces, you say bounce. And when you make contact, you say hit. So the sequence would be bounce, hit while you're doing that. So let me demonstrate. This is a great way because now you're helping yourself to retain muscle memory. You're not only learning it through muscle memory, but you're hearing it audibly. So the ball, the pitch, and so forth. There's a lot of things with instinct. Okay, you use all the senses for learning. Okay, here we go. So, if the ball comes, the opponent hits the ball, right? You shoulder turn, and then when the ball bounces, you say bounce, hit. Here we go. Shoulder turn, bounce, hit. And notice I didn't say before or after. When the ball directly, you try to say the ball bounces when it hits the ground. And when you make contact, you say hit, so bounce, hit, all right? To get your timing, that's a good way to get your timing. So, here we are, ready position, the ball comes to you, you shoulder turn and pivot, bounce, hit, okay? So that's really important sequence of helping you. Now you're learning it in two ways. You're using visual, you're using audio, and of course, you're using kinesthetics. So there's three sensories you're using because you're using, well, you're using what? Kinesthetics, you're moving, muscle memory. Visual, you're watching the ball. Audible, you're listening senses because you're saying bounce, hit. Those three things will help you retain the fundamentals of the basics of the strokes, okay? I think that's pretty much it. And once you practice this a few times, it'll be exciting, but now you get to the point and you get that sequence, okay? Let me just review so that way you remember. You're using an Eastern forehand grip. Watch my video on how to use the grips with a pencil as an indicator. You're a ready position, okay? And it's a shoulder turn and pivot, bounce, make contact, hit, and follow through. See that? Ready position, shoulder turn and pivot, right? Bounce when you see the ball bounce, say hit when you hit the ball, and follow through out here. Now I know when you watch some of the great players, you see all these real neat, heavy top spin. Don't worry about it, you're beginning. You'll get there, but practice the fundamentals, the basics. As your game evolves, just like a metamorphosis from a tadpole to a frog, your game will develop. You will need to hit a semi-western, you'll need to use a semi-western grip, and then a western grip, depending on the type of surface you play. But you need to develop proper mechanics and timing, and hitting a lot of balls. There is no substitution to hitting a lot of balls, playing a lot of matches, match play. So your mind is thinking in like a chess game terms, but you're hitting a lot of balls, all right? So here it is. Shoulder turn, make contact, follow through. And when you drop the ball and hit it, say shoulder turn, bounce the ball, bounce, hit, and follow through. Okay, when you hit the ball, you follow through. Have someone throw you the ball, and so on, okay? So you can practice mechanics. Emphasize the mechanics, making good finish, good follow through. And as you emphasize that, your muscle gets used to it, the memory, and you'll catch on. If you listen to what I say and follow my instructions as a beginner, don't worry if everybody's beating you. The key is to develop your game, the proper mechanics. And once you do that, as you get the timing down and your strokes look beautifully and graceful, you'll excel. It's like this. This is kind of like you start like this, and then pretty soon as you develop, you'll skyrocket off. But there is no substitution for the fundamentals and solid strokes, because if you don't develop those while you're beginning, you're going to have bad habits, and under pressure, bad mechanics create for a lot of bad shots. Good solid mechanics allows you opportunity. And one thing before I close this lesson on the forehand, remember to do this, is hit the ball 3 to 5 feet over the net. And if you're gonna make a mistake, make the mistake over the net. I don't care if it's wide or long, as long as you give your opponent another chance to decide whether they should hit the ball or let it go wide or long. But into the net, there is no decision made by your opponent, okay? And so you want to develop consistency and good habits. Thank you for watching dmactennis.com. I hope this forehand was really helpful. In future videos, I'll have someone feed me the ball so you can see a nice smooth stroke. And that will be focused and geared for intermediate to advanced players. I love the game of tennis. It's a wonderful sport. It's great exercise. You can play it for 15 minutes or 3.5 hours. And it's really good for exercise, and the people you meet are wonderful. And I am so grateful for the people I meet. This is dmactennis.com. I hope that I'm your preferred and tennis pro online for my free lessons. Thank you, and make it a great day. Bye. Thanks.